All right, guys and ladies, welcome to the broadcast today. This is Jerry Handy, SeniorNichePreneurs.com. Glad you took a few seconds of your day to come and hang out with us. I've got something I wanted to do a follow-up to, and that was in reference to the Atem streaming bridge and whether or not it was worth the money. One thing I shared with you guys that I was going to do what I could to put together a diagram of how all of the different gear and equipment that I've got connected, show you, how it works in my world and what it is that I have done to make it work for me. But before we do that, if you are new to the channel, please do consider subscribing to the channel. We cover a number of different topics here, from entrepreneurship, affiliate marketing, home-based business, anything as far as gear is concerned. The stuff we use here in the studio doesn't matter. We do a lot of different things here. So please do consider subscribing to the channel, as we will continue to put out more content just like you are seeing today. Hopefully it'll be a benefit to you. Hopefully it'll help you. Hopefully it'll give you a little idea of what it is that's possible and what you can do. I obviously by no means done any and everything that an expert would do, but I was, in my little finite wisdom, was able to put together the things that I'm going to share with you today. And so far it's been working really well for me. As I've said before, I'm new to the Atem Mini Pro or Black Magic Design products. But so far I think I'm enjoying, what they've been putting out. So let's just dig right into it. What we wanted to talk about is the diagram and what you can do and how you can do it to make it work for you. If you are the type of individual that has an Atem Mini Pro, a streaming bridge, a hyperdeck, a Rodecaster Pro, and whatever else you want to throw in there, great. This video is going to be great for you. If you don't have a Rodecaster Pro, which is the middleman as far as I'm concerned, it may work just as well with the Go XLR audio interface. I'm not sure. I can only talk about what it is that I actually deal with on a day-to-day basis. So let's just dig in and see what it looks like, shall we? Okay, so as you can see in the diagram, there is a number 1 on your screen in that diagram. That's where we start. That is the Rodecaster Pro. And what I have coming from the Rodecaster Pro, obviously it has 2 monitor outputs. And what I do with those monitor outputs is I send, if you look at the white arrow, I send those monitor outputs into the Atem Mini Pro in mic input number 1. Okay. Obviously Atem Mini Pro software is going to take over and going to, spit all the signals, wherever you want to send it. And we'll discuss that possibly maybe in more detail at a later date. But anyway, from the Rodecaster Pro into the Atem Mini Pro in mic input number 1. Okay. That's the second thing. That's the first thing. The second thing I do is in the internet port, the Ethernet, I should say, the Ethernet port out of the Atem Mini Pro. I'm taking it from the Pro into the network switch, which you'll see goes from 2 to 3, from the Atem Mini Pro switch into the network switch, or the Ethernet port into the network switch. That's how we hook it up to Atem Mini Pro to the network switch. Number 4, I'm taking the Ethernet port from the streaming bridge into the network switch or the network hub. Number 5, I'm taking the hyperdeck Ethernet port from the hyperdeck into the network switch to where all of the different components are now connected to the network. And I'm just going to be able to pick up all their IP addresses and make everything be able to talk amongst themselves, and we can flow like we're supposed to. Okay, so that's number 5. Number 6, we are going to connect to the hyperdeck. So we're coming out of the streaming bridge Okay, SDI out of the streaming bridge into the HyperDeck in. Okay, SDI out on the streaming bridge into the HyperDeck SDI in. That's number 6. Number 7, we're connecting to the SDI HDMI converters. So we're coming out of channel A and channel B into the SDI/HDMI converters. Okay, and then from the converters, that's 7.1, we're coming from the converters into the HDMI inputs on channel 3 and channel 4 of the Atem Mini Pro. Okay, channel 3 is going to be the fill, and channel 4 is going to be the alpha channel, which allows me to be able to play lower thirds from the HyperDeck. Be able to play the graphics from the HyperDeck. Okay, so that's 7.1. Now moving on to number 8, we have our cameras, which is coming out of HDMI number 1 and HDMI number 2. I have a GH4 that is my front facing camera, and I have a Fujifilm X-T3, which is my rear facing camera or side camera, whatever you want to call it. That's number 8. Now moving on to number 9, we have the USB-C coming out of the Atem Mini Pro into the USB drive for your recording of your program, if you choose to do that. Okay, that's number 9. Number 10, you'll see we're coming out of a green arrow going to the multi-view. That's coming out of the HDMI out of the Atem Mini Pro into the multi-view, so you can be able to monitor all of your different channels on your Atem Mini Pro. That's number 10. Number 11, we're over to the right side of the screen at the HyperDeck. Right on the HyperDeck, it says number 11, HDMI out to the monitor. And what I'm doing there is taking the HDMI out on the HyperDeck to a small aperture, fine HDMI monitor, so that I can have a bigger view of what's coming off of the HyperDeck. That is the only reason why that little monitor is there, or that bigger monitor is there, to be able to have a bigger view of the HyperDeck screen coming out. Okay, so that's number 11. Number 12, if you look down at the bottom middle of your screen, we're back to the streaming bridge. And what we're doing there is we're taking the HDMI out of the streaming bridge to the cam link. Okay, out of the HDMI out of the streaming bridge to the cam link, and from the cam link, which is 13, into our USB, and that gives us the opportunity to be able to use our camera as a webcam inside of vMix, OBS, YouTube, Facebook, StreamYard, you name it. Any platform you desire to use your webcam, you can use that connection, and it will be and should be sufficient for you to be able to do that. So that's a kind of a quick and dirty overview of the process and the equipment and the gear that I use here on the channel and here in the studio. I will say this up front. Obviously, this is not all the things that is necessary to get yourself up and running. You can use something as simple as this little guy here, this little phone, and you should be fine. Okay. So if you are in a position to take it further to increase your production value on your content, then by all means, it may be something you'd be interested in. So I will leave some links in the description for the various gear and equipment that I use here. Okay. And you can check it out and see if it's something that you can definitely utilize in your particular setup. I will say this again, if you're starting out, it's not necessary to go like this. Okay. But if you are, a few months or even a few years into growing your audience and even into doing special content for a particular audience, then you definitely want to think about upping your production value, because it helps you not only from a content perspective, but it also helps you from a time management perspective. Because if you can do all these things on the fly, your editing for the most part on post-production could be minimized drastically by using the different tools and equipment that is available to us today. It's amazing the type of things that you can do from a little mom and pop shop inside of your little home, inside of your little studio, inside of your little bedroom, if that's where you want to put it. It's just amazing as to what it is that you can do. So please don't hesitate to jump in and check these things out. If you have some comments or some concerns, please do leave those comments, leave those concerns in the comment box area beneath. And also, if you like videos like this, you want to continue to follow videos like this, please do consider subscribing to the channel. I will appreciate it in advance. And thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us this afternoon or this morning or whatever time it is in the world where you are. Thank you. God bless you. Look forward to seeing you guys real soon. Till next time, take care. Bye for now.